Hi everyone, I'm Foxhiker, your host with the most fur. Still toothless here for the time being, but let's do another Fox Topics video. Ha ha. So, I've been, when I first started, well, before I started doing these topic based videos, I usually just do streams. I asked the Fox Play group, what kind of content do you want to see? And I put up their backlogs because I see a lot of videos, being like, let's talk about the backlogs and how you can finish it and how you can go back to it. And where there's a lot of genuine advice, I just think that I might be able to provide a little, you know, uh, just a tad little bit of nuance to the conversation. And maybe give you some advice that actually helped me out. Backlogs aren't always easy. Uh, some people literally get stressed out looking at their backlog and what kinds of games they have back. Just, tons of games. Like they look at their list and they get stressed, and I can totally understand that. Now, one of the original, you know, uh, things that I see people suggest is to make a list of the games you haven't done and go to uh what was it, time to beat or whatever, to help you kind of sort out which games you should start with and stuff. And I don't know if I like that. To me, that actually stresses me more out. Like if I make a list, like a spreadsheet of all the games and how long it takes to beat, I kind of like feel like I desensitize myself to the idea of the backlog. Like the games on my backlog are genuinely games that I plan to play and I plan to enjoy. And while some of them are down to, games that like I am only half interested in, I know there's games that I actually truly enjoy and really want to invest a lot of time in. And so, but anyways, instead of making a spreadsheet and seeing how long it takes to beat them, because time to beat really shouldn't be a huge factor. How much do you want to actually play some of these backlog games? And part of what helps me out is that I set aside, like, okay, I'm going to try to just cut down how many games I'm focusing on right now. Like, I always have my go tos, my Elden Ring, my Final Fantasy 14, my X Defiant, and it used to be COD, but COD nowadays isn't exactly the go-to I once remembered it as. It's a lot different than Black Ops 2. So anyway, so I set aside like 5 titles, maybe to go for a couple weeks span. I'll set aside like Metal Gear Solid here, for example, or uh, the Mafia titles. Like I hadn't beaten those before, and I was kind of feeling guilty about it. And I think it's important, especially with subscription service nowadays, to maintain your backlog to games you actually bought. Like if you bought a game, you should want to play it. Prioritize those first, foremost. And I found it's easier to do that. If I, especially with physical games, because I can physically see the game, right, in my collection. At some of which are not opened. Like for example, I got the One Piece Odyssey still wrapped in its box, and you know, and I will get to that eventually. But that's one of the things I'd like to say is that when you buy a game, you should intend to play it. And I don't mean like right away, but you should intend to prioritize the games you bought first when it comes to your backlog. That way there's far less guilt and buyer's remorse, I suppose. And you know, you should also prioritize games that you want to play now, like despite how much time it goes into. For example, Mafia, it was one that I felt guilty about not completing, you know. And I was like, I want to see what this game's about. And after a few hours, I just found myself playing it more. Like it kept finding time in my daily routine, my slots, and if I'm getting bored with my go-tos, I'm like, well, I could work a little bit on Mafia. Like just devote a little bit of time. Give yourself some time to get a flow of things. And another thing that I found that helped with completing the backlog is have a diversity on your rotation of games you that are separate from another of like genre. Like if your backlog rotation for the week is a bunch of RPGs, for example, you're gonna get burnt out, and you're gonna like kind of be like kind of tired of RPGs, So like throw in your Grand Theft Autos or your fighting games like Street Fighter 6 for example. Excellent fighting game. I don't like the microtransactions, but that's a completely different issue. Mix it up. Um and these should be games that you want to play. These should be games that you bought that take priority. Is my main point. I found that I cleared a lot more games this way, sometimes unintentionally. Like, wow, I beat it, you guys. Like, dang, I didn't expect to do that so soon. I just got casually invested. And don't be afraid to knock one off the rotation for a while. Like, I still haven't beaten Witcher 3. I still haven't beat Baldur's Gate 3. I still haven't beaten, quite a few games to be honest. In fact, I feel so a little guilty about it at this point, but most of the times, like, I don't even intend to beat them, to be honest. If a game is good, it should hold your interest naturally. Just, pick a rotation. 4 or 5 games, different genres. Just let it roll. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but, you know, if you're listing them out, that's just extra work. Like making a spreadsheet, that's extra work. And maybe it helps some people, I'm not going to deny that, but you shouldn't make gaming or attacking your backlog as work. You don't need everything so structured. And like I said, it's okay to knock one off the rotation for a while. Like sometimes you're just not digging it, and that's okay. Wait for a time when you're ready for digging it. Sometimes I even replay games just for the hell of it. Like Spider-Man, that whole I say it's a trilogy, but there's Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2, which makes it a trilogy, but it's not Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. And it's good to go back and play games you like. Remind yourself of the games you enjoy playing, and then before you know it, you're like, as badly as received as it was, I kind of want to knock out Avengers again, or give Gotham Knights another go. I know it's lame or whatever the consensus is, but it doesn't have to be. You feel me? Like, don't be afraid to give games a chance and just roll with it. I hope I was at least a little bit informative and stuff, and I'm hoping I'm helping you guys with your backlog. I kind of suffered it with it for a while. I kept seeing my collection grow and going, I haven't even opened half of these. What's wrong with me? And so I just started like, I got my go-tos. Like I'll play those and then I'll just, add a game or two on the list whenever I'm bored. And it worked out for me. Maybe it will for you too. Anyways, like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I want to say that I appreciate you guys and I hope to do more topic videos in the future. And I will be making my Fox Play Gaming channel kind of a thing where I'll do re-uploads and maybe, talk back on these comments that I make or these topic videos and old streams and, kind of go all Asmongold with it with my old videos. Because I've done a lot and feel free to watch my old streams, but, I plan to cut down some of these things and comment on them. I'm not the best gamer in the world, I admit, but I enjoy gaming. And I think we all, at the end of the day, enjoy gaming, want to enjoy gaming. So let's not make this a whole process of having to organize everything and dedicate time to only games that are shorter in length or more. Like, if you want to play a game, just play it. Give it some time. Like, it's also helpful to give it like an hour, you know, at a time. Like, what's worse it can do? You might have fun. Anyways, I'm rambling on now, but uh, this is how I approach the backlog, and I thought it would be a fun video. And it was voted on, not the top, but it was voted on. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Peace.